Hello and welcome to Jamie TV, streaming 100% live on YouTube. Thank you very much for joining me. If you are new to the channel, then thank you for being insane enough to take a chance on me. And if you are a regular viewer, then thank you very, very much for your continued support. I recently did a stream where I was using Rhino, just checking that I'm in flight mode here. I was using Rhino and I created a nice clean patch, and also not long ago I did a stream where I was looking at making sci-fi guitar sounds, and a couple of people as a result of those streams have asked me about ambient guitar sounds. Now I kind of like those sort of ambient guitar sounds, but it's not something that I particularly do frequently. But, stupid hippie, but it kind of got me to thinking about what I might do, how I might go about it, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a stream on it. So, before I continue, let's have a look at the chat. Hi fam, thanks for joining us. Hi Grant, hello Paul, Samuel, and BJ, thank you all very much for being here. Yesterday I did a stream, my very first stream, talking about using Cubasis 3 on Android, and what was most fascinating to me about that was that all the people in the chat were actually all iOS people who I know, who watch me regularly. Thank you very much for that. I was just a little fascinated. There were people watching, though, who were not joining in the chat, and there have been some Android users who watch it since. So, hello, Dean. Thanks for stopping by to say hi. I'm massively honoured, big fan. And now then, who's that? How do I pronounce that? Is that Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi? Anyway, thank you for being here. However, can you just put in the chat sort of a sort of idiot hippie's guide to how to say that, please? Thank you. So I don't want to be rude. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll tell you what I've already done, right? Like Wi-Fi. Okay, that's cool. Right. Thank you for being here, Wi-Fi. So what I've already done is I've simply given myself a bunch of faders in AUM, and I have mapped this controller to them, and I'm going to try to remember to use the controller, because I usually kind of map it and then forget and keep touching the screen. So I've got faders, and I've got mutes and solos, and I've got play and stop and arm record and rewind and stuff, right? Because I'm not going to be playing any keys today, I don't think. I think it's going to be all going to be things with strings. I'm going to use this beautiful gold Strat. In fact, I might as well put it on, and I don't have a strap on this one yet. I'm not sure what colour strap I would put on a gold guitar. Alright then, so I'm going to need an input here, and actually what I'll do is I'll just mute this channel. Hardware input, left hand side of my iRig Pro Duo. We can see there that it's coming in. Let's bring that fader down, take mute off. We'll just bring that up so we've got some sound. Okay, right, now I'm gonna need, yes, it's very beautiful, isn't it? I don't know if you know the story of this Strat, but this Strat was actually won in a competition by, well, basically, very quickly, I run a group on Facebook for Vintage Guitars, the company that made this guitar. I'm an endorsee, and all of my instruments, almost all of my instruments, are vintage or Fret King, made by the same company. And so I run the group for Vintage Guitars, and now several years ago I went to see the operations director at Vintage, and he had this guitar in his office. It's not a production model. I asked him about it because I thought it was gorgeous, and he said, it's a prototype. I just had one made, and we ended up not putting gold sparkle into production, so it sits in my office. And so anyway, he decided to give it away in a competition in the Vintage Guitar Players group. And I couldn't enter because I'm an endorsee and I run the group, so it wouldn't be right. And so then this guy won it, and I had to sort of notify him that he'd won the competition. But he knew that I loved this guitar, and he had it for a couple of months. He decided he wasn't a Strat guy, and he just contacted me and he said, "You know what, Jamie?" He said, "I'm not a Strat guy. You play Strats a lot better than I do. I'm just going to give it to you." And so he paid to have it set up, and he paid to have it delivered to me. And I'm extremely grateful because it's a wonderful guitar. So anyway, now what I'm going to do is, first job, I'm going to need a tuner. I'm going to mute this channel again because I'm going to open here ToneStack Pro. So I'm going to zap right down to the bottom of this list to Yonak and get ToneStack Pro. Because I could use the tuner in Newrack, but I'm thinking I might want to use some pedals in ToneStack Pro. So I'll use ToneStack Pro. My first job is to come down to the bottom and initialize it to clear everything off, and then I'll just pop out the tuner and we'll have a quick tune silently because it has a mute button, which I'm not using. I've got the channel muted. Oh yeah, stupid hippie. Yeah, so I'll just give it a quick tune because it's good to play in tune. And I'm just wondering to myself, do I actually have a pick in here? Yes, I do. I have a pick here. Hi Nina, thank you very much for joining us. Nina won a code for, it was for Rhino, wasn't it? Yeah, that's right, it was for Rhino. For the patch name that she came up with for, I think Nina named the clean sound, if I remember rightly. Okay, right, so we can close that, and now I can unmute this channel. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, now I've got my tuner, is I'm going to add a Blue Mangoo app, because when I started looking at making ambient guitar sounds, I thought, you know what, quite a few of the Blue Mangoo ones will be really helpful for this. So I'm going to see how many of them I can use in one stream. So I'm going to use Gain Stage Vintage Clean. Now, if you've not checked out this app, what this is all about is, it's not an emulation of a particular guitar amp or a number of guitar amps like some of them are. It's just a nice clean sounding. It does do a dirty sound, but it's just a nice, it sounds like a nice clean valve amp. So let's just have a listen to a few of the sounds. I'll go into my quack position here. This is a clean American Standard. We've got a British chime, which is a fair bit brighter. And then we've got Punchy Country, which is kind of got a bit more round bottom end to it. Sweet Humbuckers. Sounds great, even though it's a Strat. I mean, interesting. We've got a blues sound. And finally, we do have a crunch, which is considerably louder. But that's not the sound that I'm looking for today. I'm going to go back to the American Standard. It's just a nice all-round clean amplifier sound. Now, you can set your input to mono or stereo, so of course it's mono. And as you can see, we've got a whole bunch of EQing options, which I'm not going to touch for now. I'm going to come back to them later if I need them. And we have input and output volumes, so we could bring down the output, crank the input to dirty up the front end of the amp, but I'm just going to leave everything kind of 12 o'clock for now. Now, it does convert mono to stereo out on the output. We've got a peak limiter on here, and also it has a room size. So rather than kind of being like the kind of reverb that an amp would normally have, it just has more of a room ambience. That's the largest one, and we can of course switch it off. I think I'm going to leave it off because I'm going to add reverb later, so, or maybe, I'll tell you what, we'll leave it on medium, see how that works later. Right, hello Gerald, thanks for being here, buddy. Right, okay, now, I thought, right, when you hear ambient tracks made with guitar, you very often hear that guitar fading in, right? And if I was going to do a volume fade in, then I would use the volume knob on the guitar. But there's a couple of problems with that. I'd kind of go like this. I'd go like, I'd do that. But problem number one, I don't like where the volume pot is on a Strat. I love Strats, but I do kind of struggle with that particular detail of Strats. A lot of people, when they do fades on a Strat, will use the little finger, and I'm just not very good at it. A fading ideally with guitar would be done with a pedal, but I don't have a volume pedal, and I don't have a MIDI pedal that I could kind of hook up to something to create a volume fade in. So I figured, what about using Blue Mangoo's attack softener? Now, I used this before when I made a track. I did a cover of Bowie's Man Who Sold the World, which is one of my very favourite songs, and I made a little bit of a stupid hippie mistake with that track because, and if you want to hear it, you can hear it on Spotify or Bandcamp. A stupid hippie mistake because normally I'm really, really careful about what tracks I record, about the keys. I go to great lengths before I start recording any music. I'll have an acoustic guitar and I'll just be strumming the song and singing it and making sure that I've got it in the key that's best suited to my voice, because I don't have the greatest voice in the world. And although most singers, they sound at their best when they're really pushing the voice, I don't. I just sound like a tortured chipmunk, and I just sound like it's too much for me. And so anyway, I did do that with this song, but what I didn't realise was when we got to the bit at the end of the track, those big notes at the end of the song, I didn't realise how harsh my voice was going to sound on those bits. And I found that I could only hit those notes if I took a sort of a bit of a running jump at the note. If I tried to sing the note softer or kind of go into the note more delicately, I just sang it flat. So I ended up just belting them out to try and hit the notes as best I could and get the most power as I could. And then I used the attack softener to just take off that horrible bit at the beginning as I attacked the note. So kind of a bit of a cheat, really. And it sounded a lot better than using a little fade-in. I recorded it in Cubase 3, and the fade-in facility is great in there. But yeah, Tortured Chipmunk. I used to work with a drummer who said I sang like a tortured chipmunk. It was a bit of a twat, actually, but he was probably right about that. And yes, so Attack Softener saved the day on that track. But I only had it on beta, and then I never needed it after that, and I never bought it. And so I just grabbed it yesterday, and I'll show you how it works. It's super simple, right? It's like stupid hippie proof. What we've got is, over here we've got a noise gate. If I open up the gate, even when I touch the guitar very lightly, we've got the noise. But when I bring the attack time, I'll bring the attack time down, right? So this is just gonna just soften the very first, almost just get rid of the pick attack, right? But if I put it all the way up, and then I can choose how deep into the sound we want that to go. So let's go all the way up with the depth, right? So there is my fade in without using any kind of volume control. Gerald says, what kind of a guitar would Dave Gilmour have used? Gilmour used a Strat, a black one. It was modified in a couple of ways that I can't quite remember, but yeah, a Strat. If you look it up on YouTube, you'll find tons and tons of stuff about Gilmour's guitar. Right, so that's as complicated as that app is. That's all there is to it, but it does a fantastic job. And this will save me from fannying about with my volume knob. So you can see I'm somewhere there already to getting, you know, somewhere towards an ambient kind of a approach. Right, now I'm going to stick this before the amp. I think that would be better. Okay. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to split my sound up. I want to split it up into 3 bands. I want to be able to affect the top end, the middle, and the low end of the guitar separately. I just think that it will, I just think that's the way to go. So, because the low end of the guitar, it's just nice to keep it unaffected and just a nice round sound, and it's nice to be able to separate out those frequencies so that you can use the faders to balance. I'm having difficulty explaining it, if I'm honest, but you'll see what I mean as I go along. I'll just do it. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to add Blue Mangoo's multi-band, which was a free app. I believe it's still free. Correct me if I'm wrong. So multi-band, what we're going to be able to do in here is to split the frequencies of the guitar. This here is 1 band. So if I go here and add 2 more, now the app is going to split the sound that the guitar is producing into. Why am I getting notifications on my screen when I'm in airplane mode? Why is that? Do I need to go and switch something else off here? I'll switch off the Wi-Fi thing. I normally just press airplane mode. Right, okay, so it's going to split us up into separate bands, which are then going to come down separate channels. So if I go to the effects slot on the next channel and go to multibus audio unit instances, I can add a second output for multiband, and here we'll add a third one. Okay, so back in here, right, this band is going to come out of this channel, and this band is going to come out of this channel, and this band is going to come out of that channel. So what I'll do is I'll just solo that first channel now, go into multiband, turn up my guitar. Actually, for a moment, I'll turn off attack softener, just make the job slightly easier. And I'm just going to drag this handle around here, and you can hear we're sweeping across the frequencies to enable me to decide where I want to cut it off. I think it's probably going to be about there. So all the low is coming out of this channel, and then I'll remember to use my controller and solo the next channel. And let's just try that again from in here. I don't want to have no low at all in this band, because this is going to be the most important band. This really is where the guitar sound is. Probably around there. And then we'll solo the third one. And here there we're just getting the very highest frequencies. And that's nice because I can, if I'm not hearing enough of them, I can crank the fader up, and if they're just too much, if we're getting too much of that top end, I can bring it down. So this app gives me lots of control over the frequencies I'm producing with the guitar. Russ is here. Hi Russ. Hi Notty. Nice to see so many friends here. Right, okay, so now I've split my guitar up into 3 frequencies. Let's move on to that second channel and decide what to do with that. So I've got a nice, there's my middle frequency, and I'm going to add another Blue Mangoo app. I'm going to use Chorus D. Now Chorus D, it's a funny one. It's like a lot of Blue Mangoo apps. There's not like loads and loads of controls in it. It's just a way of getting a very instant chorus sound. So you don't get to sort of pissy pants around with lots of knobs and dial shit in yourself, but it just sounds great. It's just, especially on guitar, these are just kind of like pre-dialed in, awesome chorus sounds. Quite subtle, but that's what we want for this track. I'll probably go with the most extreme one, I think. Try neck pickup. There we go, one back. Yeah, I think that sounds lovely. Right, now, the guitar is a mono instrument. But for an ambient track, I think stereo-ness, he said, inventing a new word, is desirable. So I'm going to add something that's going to give us a bit of a stereo picture. So we'll try Blue Mangoo's stereo lag. And this again is a very, very simple app. This may be the simplest of all the apps. I put my finger here, right? And I just drag this to one side, and the further I go, the more you'll hear the one side of the stereo picture. That's if you're listening on headphones or monitor speakers. One side of the stereo picture is slightly behind the other. If I go all the way, it starts to sound, it's more extreme. A little further back from there, it's like a slapback kind of a sound. I don't want it quite as extreme as that because I'm thinking I'm probably going to start out with chords. It's just another little subtlety just to make it, that stereo picture, that little bit more interesting. And now I'm going to move on to the top frequency. So remembering to use my controller, I'm going to solo this one. And at the moment, we've just got that sort of, you know, very cheap headphone kind of a sound. And I'm going to add chorus D again, but deliberately I'm going to choose a different chorus sound. I'm thinking that maybe they'll phase against each other slightly, and that might be interesting. They might not. It might sound naff. Let's find out. Maybe go with the most extreme one on this. Now just crank the fader for the moment. Okay, and then let's just try mixing that in with the middle frequency. Okay, again, very, very subtle, just another layer, just a bit more depth. And next, I'm going to go with the Haas effect, which I first discovered this effect via a video that Mr. Jakob Hack did, where he explained it quite brilliantly, far more brilliantly than I could possibly ever dream of explaining it to you. Basically, it does kind of like what the stereo like thing is doing, but across different bands. So imagine that you've got 4 of those stereo like controls in 4 separate bands, which you can move around and choose where those bands are going to be. So I'm going to just use the top end couple, and I'll drag this handle down. Now hang on a moment, let me just solo the 3rd track and crank the volume up to the top, and then if I just solo this band here and then solo this band, right, now we're gonna like that one so far that way, and like this one more extremely. Hear that? Jumping across. Hey Michael, hey Timothy. Very nice to have you join us. Oh, Pain Target, thanks for being here. Right, okay, now both of those together. Okay, it just adds another interesting little quality to the overall sound. And now the middle and top frequency together, and then bringing in the low, which I want to be quieter. All right, now bring the attack softener back in. Okay, now I'm looking at my DSP and it seems to be settled around about 35%, so we're safe for now. And I was hoping that I'd be able to get all of this done without going much higher than that, because next I want to add the delays and reverbs, which do tend to consume more processing power. Now, I don't have the delay by Blue Mangoo. What I'd like to try on this is I'd like to try Nembrini's shimmer, and I'm going to send all the frequencies to it. Is that what I'm going to do? I want to send all the frequencies, or just, yeah, I will. Yeah, because I know I'm going to do it. What I'll do is I will make this a mix bus, and then I will add a bus send to each of these tracks. So that we can send all of the bands to the same chain of time effects, delay and reverb. So if I solo this, right, that's all of the bands going to this track here. And I think what I'll do is I will make all of these post sends rather than pre, because that way when I mute a track, I won't be hearing that sound going to the bus send. Seem to be having difficulty saying that. Right, now on this bus send, I'm going to add a non-Blue Mangoo app. I'm going to go with Nembrini's shimmer delay. There we go. And let's set that up. Okay, now what I'm going to do with this app, the first section is the swell. Now we're already creating a fade in by using the tack softener, so I don't need the swell. I'm just going to, oh, it's already powered off. Okay, I'm going to leave it powered off is what I'm going to do. And then we're going to, oh, I'll tell you what, make this job slightly easier. I'll just take a tack softener off for a moment. Right, now I'm going to bring down this level here for the lower octave. Now this is a lovely app. I haven't made a video about it because I'm not altogether thrilled with the way that this front end of the app works, and I thought that Nembrini were going to update it because the swell doesn't always work brilliantly, and I hope that they still are going to update it because that aspect of it could be better. And I thought I'd just hang fire and, you know, maybe they'd do that. So now we want some echoes. How many do I want? Not as many as that. I don't want to cut any high frequency. Probably do want to cut some low frequency. not sure about this time. Yeah, I'm not sure I want it to offset either. Hear there now how the echoes begin immediately. Instead of if I do this, they kick in later. I don't think I want that. I think I want them straight away. I'll make a decision on this in a moment. Yeah, you know what? It sounds best where it was when I first opened it. Audible. Thanks for being here. What's that high-end ringing? That's the shimmer. Hi, Joe. Yes, the high-end ringing is the shimmer because it's a shimmer delay, right? I'll show you the shimmer. That's hard to say. I will show you the shimmer section now. Oh dear. Right. Now the shimmers are set to play an octave higher. If I bring that down, I think I kind of like them an octave higher. And now we can add distortion to that shimmer. Which I don't think I want. Regenerate. Longer shimmer. Level for the shimmer. And just bring the mix down a bit. And while I'm here, I'll just show you what this does. This will give us a low frequency delay. And you can select how many regenerations you want for that bass frequency echo. I'm not sure that we want that. I might just leave a bit of it in. Okay, now what I can do, using these little sends, I can decide how much of each band I want to send to that shimmer. So I probably don't want to send too much low end to it. I'm going to turn them all down, if my iPad will let me. There we go. See what it's like if we send a lot of low to it. Alright, send some of the middle. And the top. Make that louder. Right, I'm going to cut some of that back. Alright, and now we need a reverb to add some gloss to the top of that. So obviously I'm going to choose one of the most spectacular reverbs that we have on iOS, which is Stratosphere Cloud Reverb. Now this reverb really is something else. It deserves a special chord. I'm just going to have a little pissy pants around with this and find a nice sound. I'm going to put the wet mix up all the way. Seeing as how we've got it on the send. This reverb has one of the longest delay times possible. We'll not want a massive delay, I don't think, but I'll just take the shimmer delay off for a moment so you can just hear it on its own. And now it has its own modulation. I'm going to take that off a moment. Now that's what it sounds like with the high cut all the way off effectively. We may want to just cut out some of those tinnier highs, but I'm quite happy with that sound up there. And then the low end. Right, now of course the onset time is how long it takes for the reverb to kick in. So if I just play one chord, and you can hear it creep in. Delay time's a little bit much. Now, if I bring the diffusion down, it's brighter. And maybe we do need a bit of high cut there. Okay, now this reverb has its own modulation. And I'm not sure about using it and bringing it in, since we've already got chorus on 2 bands. So let's try it. It may create a certain amount of phasing. It might sound awful. I have no idea. Alright, I'm kind of liking that. It's very close to what I sort of had in mind. Bringing the attack softener again. What chords shall I use for this? We'll start with a minor, eh? Now if you're hearing any front end at all on these chords, it's because this mic is picking up my pick slightly. But being a Things with Strings player, one of the best things I've decided to do while streaming is to use just a normal dynamic, like a live mic, which was Pete Johns' suggestion. Alright, so that's pretty close to what I wanted. Bring the shimmer back in. I want slightly less of that. Alright, okay. I like that because I don't have to do very much. I just have to play some very simple chords and I get this big soundscape. I like it. There's something else that just occurred to me actually that might sound quite nice. What if we added? Now this is not a Blue Mangoo app. This is we're going to go with a Bram app. If we added Perforator, just grab a preset here. Now there's all kinds of presets that are all great, different gating options. Now let's make this entirely wet here. Now that could be really useful for an ambient track. That could really make a track. I think that's quite special. But I've used this one before. Mellow stutter, what's that one? Yeah, see? Now what you can do with this app is, yes, it's a gate, so it's kind of chopping the audio in and out, but it doesn't have to be 100% wet. You could dial it back and then you'd just be adding a subtle movement to the chord. If you can move your knob in a subtle fashion. There. Okay. Right, so that's kind of a sound built. I like it. I've got something very close to what I wanted out of it. So tell me in the chat, do you think A, it sucked, B, it was awesome, or C, it was Okay, now I've not set up any kind of a way to record this sound. I didn't sort of intend on trying to make any kind of recorded music with it today, but I've had an idea. I think what I could do is, yeah, if I set up another bus here, right, so we've got a bus B and then send everything to bus B, right, so we'll send every channel to bus B, and then here I could put another Bram app. The free Mini Flux app would do you good for modulation too. Mini Flux. I don't have that. What's that? I don't have that. I'll have to look that up. Right. So, Gauss. It's been beard since I used this. So now if this is set up right, we're not hearing anything because monitor's not on. That's right. Now, I remember you have to make sure your loop length is nice and long. What chord shall I use for this? If I play an F major 7 here, I think that might work. Okay. I'll have a quick go at just recording something here. It'll probably be a total disaster because it's Gauss and I've not used it forever. So I'll have a pissy pants around with Gauss. If I can remember what to press. I can't remember what to do. I just can't remember what to do. I honestly cannot remember what to press. What can I do about that beginning bit there? Is it? Oh, yeah. Make it go backwards. If I set it there, is that still in key? It is, isn't it? I'd like to chop it off there and I can't remember how to do it, but anyway, I've only got a few minutes left, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to throw my guitar over here now, and I'm going to give myself a little guitar sound by getting right, I've got an idea. I want this 808 overdrive. There we go. And seeing as we've been mostly featuring Blue Mangoo apps, I'm going to use this one. Grab that crunchy sound. Right, and then let's just throw a big delay on it. Something that I don't have to piss pants around with because I ain't got time. So where is it? There we go. And finally, if I grab this reverb and take the time down, just give myself a nice big Space Echo style reverb there. And now what bloody key am I in? Okay. Okay, so obviously I need to go and have a look at Gauss and remind myself how the bloody hell it works. Um, yeah, but that wasn't the greatest bit of playing or anything ever. But I think that shows, that I mean that's just two guitars. And my idea was to create a guitar sound that would kind of really, really fill a lot of space without having any overdrive, no kind of, nothing kind of aggressive at all. Just a nice, lush kind of a sound that you could play, a bit of a lead over, and that would be enough. I mean, if I use this, then I might kind of get, some of those atmospheric sounds I was using in Beat Hawk the other day, um, in the dark thingy me what's it in-app purchase might be really, really nice for this. Some kind of sparse drums, maybe from Slammer, perhaps. I really like those kind of big, fat, pigskin sounding drums. And yeah, there could be something in that. All right, so I'm going to shoot off because Doug will be on soon and I want to watch Doug. And I'll see you all in the chat there. So thank you all very, very much for being here. I hope you got something out of that. I hope that was at least the tiniest bit interesting. Um, I've enjoyed myself anyway, and it's really, really nice actually. It's really heartwarming when so many friends show up in the chat. So I will be back on Friday. I'm not streaming tomorrow. I am learning Amplitude 5 on the desktop for bass tomorrow. On Thursday, I'm doing a private stream for patrons, and on Friday, I will hopefully, if all goes to plan, I will be streaming about Amplitude 5 on the desktop at lunchtime, UK time. So, thank you very, very much for being here. Take great care of yourselves, make lots of music, and be nice people, and don't piss pants about. See you later.